I want to change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder. I can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black on firm, but we ain't all black.
Hey, y'all, what's happening? It's your girl, Constance Carter, and it's Tuesday, and I'm so happy to be here today with you. Let me adjust myself. I'm actually chiming in from my office today, and but I'm excited to be out here and talk to you and talk to a few people about relationship deal breakers. You know, I was having some conversations with my girlfriends, and you know, we just be talking about just different scenarios and situations, men, women, things that we do, roles in relationships, all of that stuff. And I thought it would be interesting to talk to a few people here, talk to you guys, and what's up, Bronze? Talk to a few people and talk to you guys here just to kind of like, what's your take on relationship deal breakers and how do you not F it up? Okay, because to stay in a relationship for a very long time takes a lot of work. You have to be intentional about the things that you do. But before we go there, I want to make sure that you are tuning in to Fly Nubian Queen. All right. So make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Fly Nubian Queen, and subscribe. Then after you subscribe, because we're building this network, right? So we want to make sure that you are getting alerts every time we come on. Then I want you to go over to Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter. Subscribe to that channel too. That's me. I do all kinds of stuff. All right. I got all kind of good content on there to tell you all about your life, how to build your wealth and live your best life. So make sure you subscribe to that channel too. Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter. And make sure you also hit the notification bell so that you can know every time we go live. I go live. Anybody from Fly Nubian Queens go live. And then for all of you queens, any queens in the house? Come on, Wafi the God. Come on. Any queens in the house? Hey, queens. All right. So for you queens, I want you to text the word Queens to 31996 so that you can get all the alerts and special discounts. All right. So Fly Nubian Queen, I want you to make sure that you're subscribing to the channel, subscribing to the YouTube, go over to Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter's YouTube page and to my Facebook page. Go and like that page. My Instagram, I am Constance Carter. What's up, Tavis? So queens in the house, queens checking in. Where you guys at? Where are you hailing from? Where are you coming from tonight? All the kings and queens out here, all the melanated kings and queens out here. Where are you guys hailing from? Because we got a lot of people on here tonight, and I want to know where you guys coming from. Are you in the East Coast? Because if you're in the East Coast, what is it, about 9 o'clock over there? I'm on the West Coast, so it's 6 o'clock over here. If you're in Central Texas, Chicago, I think it's 8 o'clock over there. So where are you at? Somebody said they was in New Orleans. ATL, Karen Gibbs. Okay, Karen. All right, New Orleans, Chicago. All right. And I know there's some folks that who are over there across the pond that like to check in with us too. So Youngtown, Alicia, okay, Arizona. All right, that's what's up. Okay, Marcia, she's in Ontario, Canada. All right, King. Okay, Monique, hailing in from New York. Beautiful. So we love to have all you melanated people from all over the place. We love to see you. And we want you to chime in today to today's conversation because everybody is involved in relationships. Everybody, you know, whether it's a relationship with your child, relationship with your boss, but we're specifically talking about your significant other today. And we want to know, what are some deal breakers? Because what might be a deal breaker to you may not be a deal breaker to somebody else. But somebody else could have very low tolerance for certain things, and they might be perfectly fine with you. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about, Ronell said, Fly Nubian Queens rock. Yes. So let's talk about some deal breakers. And I want to bring on my special guest today. They all have different relationship statuses. And we're going to come on and we're going to talk to you. So I got a whole panel. So you're going to get different perspectives from men, from women, from married folks, from single folks, all different type of people. We're going to bring them on right now. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
What's up?
Hello.
Yes. I'm excited about this conversation. Who else in here is excited about the conversation?
Yes, definitely.
So I see a couple over there. I see a couple of single. I don't know if you're single. I see a couple of ladies. I see a gentleman. So we're going to have a nice, well-rounded conversation for you today. All right. First of all, I want to make sure that we qualify this conversation by telling everybody who you are and like what's your relationship status. So we'll start with the gentleman in the middle.
My name is Charles Johnson. I'm married. I've been married for a little bit. Yeah.
How long is a little bit, Ninja? I mean, Charles.
I've been married for 4 years now.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. Okay. So for the no oral sex is a deal breaker. Okay, Missouri. And we're going
already.
Yes. All right. So for the couple over there, the only couple on the panel. All right. Who are you? What's your name? And how long you been together?
Essence Craney.
Brian Craney.
We've been together for 20 years.
Dope. All right. For you, sister down below. On the left. This one.
Oh, Marthella, I am single.
Okay. Are you in a relationship right now, Marthella?
I'm in the start of something good.
Oh,
Are you in an entanglement? Is that an entanglement?
I'm single. I'm single until otherwise noted. So until you get a picture on Facebook, I guess I'm still single because ring on it.
Okay. All right, Candace, or excuse me, right here, over here to this way.
I am single.
What's your name? What your name is, girl?
Oh, I thought you said my name. I am Candace, and I am in the Houston, Texas area, and I am single.
Are you single? Or are you in a relationship single? You're just not married?
I am single.
Okay. All right. So we're going to get this thing started. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all ready for the heat?
I think so.
We're ready.
Set it to the next ship sail, the 11th.
Charles being treading real lightly. All right.
Man.
And so who want to go first? So let's get the big question out the way. What's a deal breaker for you? And then we're going to dig a little bit deeper. We're going to unpack it.
I need to unpack. What is old towels?
Ty crazy.
Old towels.
Ty said old towels.
Old towels are a deal breaker.
You know old towels.
Old towels. You ain't watched it a long time. Trying to dry off with them old towels. You smell like them old towels. Ty crazy.
Okay.
All right. So what's a deal breaker for you, Essence? Let's go with you.
I don't know what a deal breaker would be for me just yet.
Cheating?
I think when it happened, I'll definitely know. Like then it may just be maybe lying, constant lying, bad at money. Yeah, bad at money.
Bad at money. So if Brian was bad at money, somebody have to. So if Brian was bad at money, then you would kick him to the curb?
Yeah, because then we'd be on curb. We'd be homeless.
That part.
Okay, so if Brian was bad at money, you would kick him to the curb.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can't gamble my money away. You can't throw it to strippers. You can't, no, none of that. And then don't be bad with your money. Don't do that.
Okay. What about you, Marthella?
Deal breakers for me is dishonesty. That right there, because I think that covers a lot of different areas. But lying and cheating, those two right there, and money. Of course, if you can't conversate about money, like you have problems, some men, unfortunately, they have this like, don't be in my pockets, don't count my money. If you have that kind of mindset, we won't, can rock with you. That should be an open conversation. I think divorce is like 50% because of finances too, something like that, or more.
Let's qualify that really quick, Marthella, because you said a liar and a cheater. Okay, so what if it's just a little white lie?
Well, we all tell little white lies. So I'm saying them big lies. Like if your lie is going to mess me up in any kind of way, form or fashion, then that's the problem.
So what about cheating? Let's talk about cheating really quick.
Cheating is a no, 100% no.
But you know what? I'm gonna unpack that later because I want to ask you guys what are deal breakers, because I want to know what is the definition of cheating, because everybody has different definitions of cheating.
Super fast.
Right? Yeah. So Candace, deal breaker for you. I said, wait. Ty said old panties.
I said he's gonna get
real for a certain time of the month.
All right, Candace.
My top two are inconsistency and lying. So don't start off the relationship one way and then switch up and expect me to be okay with it if that's not how you were to begin with. And then telling lies, just fronting, not really being who you truly are.
So you mean the old sitting your representative, and then the real you comes out 6 months later, and you're like, who the hell is this dude that I didn't fall in love with?
Right. Because I'm going to always be real with you. I'm pretty genuine, and I consider myself to be a realist. I'm going to give it to you straight. Yeah. So I expect you to do the same. And when you don't, that's just a complete turnoff for me.
Okay. So
I think everybody sends their representative a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody really comes in guns blazing, farting in public or on your couch, you know, like doing the wildest stuff. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I think everybody to a certain, not to an extreme, but to a certain degree, right? Everybody kind of sends their representative in to kind of soften it up a little bit. You know, like, this is the better side of me. Like, I have some worse sides, but this is the best side of me.
So nobody starts off farting, right? But
no. Some people are just downright nasty, and they probably do start off. So, yeah, you just gonna walk away from them.
But farting is natural.
If you would have let one go by me,
that's a whole nother
keep going. I'm gonna come back in because my camera's messing up. But keep going.
But for me, for example, if we go, I love going to the beach, right? So if you agree, yeah, we're going to go to the beach. I love going to the beach. And then maybe 3 months later, I'm like, let's go again. And you're like, I hate going to the beach. Well, why did you front and say you liked it from the beginning? Like, so those kind of things. But nasty stuff, yeah, that's just something completely different. Oh, Bavine said he farted on the first date. Yeah, that's
what I'm saying.
No.
I mean, I feel like if you know what I'm saying, you have some Brussels sprouts.
Then you need to take your Brussels sprout butt over there to the side. I don't need to hear that.
Step outside.
Yeah, I'm cool.
But that's your representative because, you know, like 20 years in, I'm pretty sure she done passed gas near you and you've been kind of cool with it. You might have caught her nasty, but you ain't, you know what I'm saying, kicked her out the crib for it.
That's
20 years in, I can't do that to you.
You got to put in, that's like feeding me. You got to get good. No, you just can't automatically start that off right there. Mm-mm. That's just nasty. You ain't considerate of my nose.
Well, Brussels sprouts with the phone. But then you said the beach. So I figured if somebody said let's go to the beach, and you like, I hate the beach, I hate the sand, it's cold, it's gloomy, or whatever. But they want to impress you, just to kind of get in the door and learn each other, and you're dating. Maybe,
I mean, but then if he come back with I hate it, that means he didn't even have a good time with her.
Right.
Well, sometimes when they talk about people sending their representatives, I talk to women and they say, the man, he was my knight in shining armor. He acted to be a certain way. He called me. He did all of these things. And then suddenly when he got me,
he stopped.
He was an actor.
Yeah.
So you got some people that act for a living, and you got some people that are generally that way.
That's just downright deceitful. Yeah.
It's deceitful, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I kind of think it's twofold though, right? I kind of feel like it's twofold. I feel like if I start out that way and it's all good, and then the reception of it is not what I expected, I might back down from it. Is that my fault that I stopped doing it?
No,
like maybe I'm taking you.
Yeah, when they're unappreciative, that makes sense to stop.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, when you genuinely are pretending to be one way and you're really not that way, and then once you get in, then you like switch up, and it's like, whoa, who is this person?
Yeah,
that's not who you. Like you said, your representative was completely different, and you weren't being genuine. So for me, that is a complete turnoff.
Okay.
Coco said it's all natural.
Angela, join this. Angela, what are your thoughts? You have a little bit of feedback. I muted you, but what's going on?
As far as
Dealbreakers.
My deal breakers, I honestly used to have my deal breaker was adultery or cheating, and I've come to the conclusions there's levels to it. So if you're in the early stages of relationships, and this is how I was really strict with it. Like if we're dating and we're saying we're exclusive and you bring somebody in or you date or you have relations with someone and then that's it. And I've had to switch that up because I've realized I've been divorced for 13 years that men, in my experience, men kind of operate differently. So when they start vibing, this is my experience with the girl or female, I think, in the beginning, they have that, I call it the honeymoon stage. Like, oh man, this is the one, she this, she that, she's this, and then they kind of back up and I notice they may fool around or I think they sometimes do it like as a comparison. And then it's the comeback after that. Like, man, maybe she was the one. So I've had to kind of tweak when I say, if a man cheats. I absolutely agree that consistency is key. Consistency and lying. Like, I would rather a dude tell me, you know what, I've fooled around with this girl and be upfront with me. And hey, maybe we can work it out. I didn't, whatever, instead of lie to their teeth that it didn't happen or anything, lying for anything. Okay. And consistency is key. I'm a little different on bringing your representative. I believe in being upfront and transparent and however that looks, it may, we say farting, whatever. I think it's deeper than that. One of my things it's just, take me as I am. If you are a 70% brother, don't come at 85%. I'm like this, come at 50%. If you got 50% and then you start aiming towards that 75, then you look back like, oh baby, look at you. You improving versus you coming at 85 and then you going, backtracking at 75. It's like, what happened?
So don't act like you're 100, you're 50.
Please don't act like you're 100. I mean,
I feel like that's a setup.
Nobody's attracted to 70%. Now that's
wait. Why is that a setup, Charles? Tell me about that.
Because I feel like if I know, I don't know. I guess it depends on maybe what your average is. But now I don't know why I'm talking numbers with it. But I'm thinking like, it's like if you come in like lower than what your average is, you know what I mean? She might not be attracted to you like that. And then you lose out on the opportunity because you're not trying to give it your best shot. You're not trying to, I think it's okay for a brother to come in, with the glow. You know what I'm saying? Like, give it your best. Try to sustain it if you can.
I feel like coming with the glow, if we going on a date, like dress nice and maybe wear a shirt or a suit that you don't typically wear, but don't front like you're the type of person that takes care of business and you really don't. Like, I'm not going to pretend that I cook dinner every night because I don't, and there are some scenarios where people do that because they're like, oh, I want to get this person. Then they get the person and then they don't understand why there's issues because you weren't really being who you genuinely and truly are. Yeah. Like, so that's what I mean about inconsistency and not really being the person you are, not about, you doing nasty things in front of somebody, unless you are, that kind of person. But
because maybe that's you, I feel like, for me, I'm gonna give you 110 out the gate, and I'm gonna try to sustain that 95, 90. You know what I mean? And that's you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna always be thoughtful enough to think like, oh man, I gotta perform this way every single time. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm gonna be as consistent as I can possibly be. But you gotta understand too, though, that 110% that you're getting, that's a compliment to you in a lot of respects. It's just to say like, hey, listen, I thought you were beautiful enough, intelligent enough, all of these wonderful things to be able to say, look, I'm going to throw you, my best shot, you know, that I got. I'm gonna throw you the winner. And if I hit, I hit. If I miss, you know, I gave it my best. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm not feeling bad because I gave you every single thing that I could possibly give you in that moment. And then I think, but I mean, to what your point is too, though, I mean, I think that that's right too, right? Because I feel like, you know, I'm gonna let you know, like at some point, it's like, hey, you know, like I'm giving you like the best game I got. You know, I don't know how long I can sustain this, but you know, because I wanted you and because I thought you was all of that, I'm gonna give it all to you up front.
So,
Let you know what you're dealing with, because it's always a possibility.
That's natural. Give your best foot forward, right? So like when you're dating, you're not going to want somebody to come with 50% because that 50% may not get the second date. So I totally get putting your best foot forward, but I think she's meaning more like, you know, you're not a person that really is a romantic type of person, but you did all the stops on the first day, the second day, even the third, but then later it's like, that ain't even me. I don't even want, that's not me. I don't like that.
That's why you like to cuddle when it actually,
you're not a cuddler.
Right, you're not a cuddler. So I want to ask before you go, Cranes, I want to ask the audience what you guys think. So do you agree with Angela? Like, don't give 100 when you only 75, or do you believe Charles, or are you with Charles on the frame that give 100 and you might dip a little bit, but put your best foot forward? Where you guys at, men especially, right? Because I think it's men that we see consistently that actually send their representatives a lot of the time, right? In my opinion,
y'all send y'all representatives too. Y'all when we first date, we get all the makeup, we get all the we get the brand new eyelashes.
So men and women. So both you guys answer that question. Like, are you with the giving, just enough and then elevating, or like decreasing? Like, where are you? What do you do when you're dating somebody? So chime in, put that in the comments box, because that's interesting. And there are two varying different opinions, from Angela and from Charles. Like, they're just two totally different mindsets, but it also, if it's a man and a woman's perspective. So are women more along that lines? But I see all of the women are agreeing with Charles, right?
Give me your best and then just try to maintain.
Okay. Brian, you said you had something. Were you getting ready to say something, Brian?
I have to say that I agree with both of them. And the reason why she said what she said, because it comes down to a point of when you give so much into it and that's not really you, it becomes a lie.
Mm-hmm. And it probably becomes
that person can't keep up with that lie. And that becomes a messed up situation.
They can't say
I know dang on well that I don't do certain things unless that woman makes me want to change, and you have to really do it in yourself. Mm-hmm. Some men, they'll be doing stuff and know dang on well they can't sustain it. So that end up being a lie. Yeah. So on her perspective, I definitely agree. Yeah. On his, I definitely agree with that, because you got to put your best foot forward. But you might want to make sure that your foot is able to step out that door and not into some water, because you end up being a lying ass dude. Mm-hmm. So
what I think it's all too, like when we're talking about put your best foot forward, right? Like when that's part of dating, right? You put your best foot forward, she does the same, and then y'all see if y'all got enough energy and something together to bind that thing together. But you don't want to come halfway, because then if you halfway coming through the door, that lets me know, in my mind, I'm thinking you halfway do things in all aspects, not just. So I want you to come.
And that's how I feel about a woman too. Like, if I take you out on a date and I'm giving you the glow, and you giving me a shimmer, like, we not gonna make it to the second joint
at all.
You know what I mean? Like, if I feel like you haven't put your best foot forward in this whole situation, I'm like, yeah, no, I can't do it.
If you're feeling a woman, or vice versa, that's why a woman to get in there and cook, right? I'm like this. I tell people day one, I don't cook. Now, can I cook? Of course I can cook. I mean, look at me.
You might not want to leave with that.
I don't leave
with that.
Absolutely. You know why? what happens. As women, we are givers, right? So most women, we gonna go all out. We gonna cook and we gonna clean. We gonna put the candles. We gonna do all that stuff, that romantic stuff that y'all love. We gonna smell good when you walk through the door. All that stuff. So what if we do all that, right? Number one, he gotta appreciate it, right? Number two, I say that up front is the fact that I don't cook, because if you deal with me, well, usually they can cook, so it's all good. But now, if they just need to know, I'm not going to be cooking 5 days a week, 7 days a week for you, and you're unappreciated. Now, see, if I start a relationship with you and I'm cooking and you appreciate it, that's gonna encourage me and myself to get in there and cook. But if I'm working, you working, I'm not a housewife like you see on TV. I work. And so we can get in there and cook together. You can do these things and I do these things. It's a joint venture.
Okay.
So no, I'll put it out there. I don't cook like that.
Off top, right? I don't cook off top.
See, that's about the not lying and faking people. I'm like, no, I don't. Yeah. You get 3 days.
I see a lot of comments in the thing talking about, are you ashamed to be who you truly are? I honestly don't think it has anything to do with you trying or not trying to be true to who you really are. I think if you can do those things and you're being true to who you really are by nature, like I personally, I feel like I'm dope in real life. So I don't really have that problem. You know what I mean? Like being able to sustain the type of person that I am, I do it as a friend. I do it in a relationship. I do it in a marriage. That's not the issue. My issue is just that if I'm going to give you me, I'm going to give you the best version of me off top. So I'm gonna let you know, hey, this is what the cards have out for you. You know, whether or not you choose to take it is up to you. Yeah. Now, sustaining it, and I think, when you talk about, it's a difference between talking about some of the things that we're talking about in terms of like, oh, can you hold on to money? Can you do this and can you do that? Those are conversations. And if I tell you that I can and then you find out that I can't, that's a lie, right? Mm-hmm. But if I'm taking you out to dinner and stuff like that, and I'm treating you nice and all that other kind of stuff, more often than not, when we first started dating and then we get further into the relationship and it becomes a little bit more gradual, it's probably because we got other things going on too, right? So like, what other things are we talking about? What other things are we discussing? Am I still feeling you the same way that I was in the beginning? Are you still giving me the same energy that you was giving me in the beginning? Like, what's shifting? And so a lot of times we don't really talk about that. Like, it's a twofold situation. Like, a brother will sustain the world for you a lot of times if you giving him the same energy and the same vibe that you were in the beginning too. So you got to look at both sides of that coin. Wow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the same things that you want from him, are you maintaining your consistency on your end as well? Right. You know what I mean? Are you having the conversations like, hey, babe, I want to go out, or whatever else the case may be? Or are you supporting the brother's energy and efforts to make sure that he's supporting you in other ways because now he knows more about you, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe it's not just all fun and games anymore. It's serious, and you got a business that you're trying to run. Instead of trying to take you out every night, maybe he's trying to support your dreams, or maybe he's trying to support your goals, or maybe he's trying to push you in this way. So he's not thinking about that. Or maybe he's trying to help take care of the house or manage the house or do everything else he can do to make sure that he's providing in the ways that he feels like is going to help support you as a person. So he's not really focused on those quote unquote, in his mind, maybe sometimes for me, it would be like little things, like me taking you out on a date is something really, really simple. Me supporting your dreams and listening and paying attention to the woman that you are and what you're trying to do. That's important.
Come on,
right? And so, like,
that's a mature man who's gotten to that point, so yeah, and that all makes sense. But speaking from a person that's in the dating single world, there's a lot of people that are not there at all. And so you deal with the inconsistency, the lies, the games, right, the fronters, the imposters, and all of that. So a man that is responsible and that is mature and is at that stage and thinks with his higher nature and not his lower nature, talks like that. But one that's not there,
not a clue.
Yeah, at all.
So you should probably have a whole little class on these,
yeah.
Brother. Yeah. And I was talking about that to a friend of mine recently. I was like, you know what? These brothers have no clue. They have no clue. And unfortunately, we as women, we are the ones that pick, right? I mean, truth be told, if we don't want to give you no play, you don't get no play. If you don't want, you know what I'm saying, you won't have a first date or a second one for that matter. So we are in control in that sense, right? So they shoot they shot, we let them in or not, right? So but we are not picking. So see, so when women start to complain about men, because I tell people all the time, there are some great men out there. I know some. That doesn't mean me and them got to rock together or be together. We just don't mesh in that way or whatever have you. But there's some great men out there, but we pick who we are dealing with and who your baby daddy is and who your ex is. We chose that. Yeah. And so I give women a pass, myself either, when it comes to dealing with whoever you're dealing with, because there are good men like good women out there, but now y'all two got to get together. And all two good men and two good people don't mean that they're supposed to be together. But there is somebody out there for you, but you got to pick them.
So let me ask you a question. And let me just tell you this, Angela. I have you muted, so you can unmute yourself whenever you want to chime in. I have you muted because you have feedback when other people talk. So just can you unmute yourself, Angela? Can you?
She uses her earpiece because sometimes that does it too.
You can unmute yourself. Right? All right. So yeah. Okay. So do you hear the feedback? Okay. You guys hear the So just unmute yourself when you want to talk. All right. So going there, because I talk to my good girlfriends all the time that are single. And one of the issues that we have is, now we're in our 40 plus club and men are still playing games. Okay. I don't want to say it like that.
People, because women do it too. I see the other side.
At what point do men, because men, it seems it takes them a little bit longer, brothers. And I'm talking, and this question is for Charles and for Brian. At what point, and you guys are both married men, so you might not be able to answer this, but it seems like it takes brothers a longer time to kind of settle down because you guys have so many choices and so many options that you really like playing the field. What is that? People, I've heard of men in their 40s, 50s, 60s still playing games. Like, at what point do they settle down? A lot of these men are.
Some are meant to settle down, some are not.
Some men just aren't meant to settle down.
Yeah, some men are meant to settle down and some are not.
Okay.
I was in a situation that I needed to settle down.
Okay.
And I recognized it.
Rob, what was you doing in them streets?
Hey, man, just don't look at the screen now. Don't even worry about that. You married.
Pressing my boy.
But yeah, some men they don't want to. You know what I mean? It don't make a difference how good the woman is. It don't make a good difference of the safety of it. You're asking a question. It's not about growing up. It's just about them understanding that, you know what I mean, they need to be with one woman.
You don't attribute that to a lack of maturity?
Come on, Essence.
Well,
I do attribute to a lack of maturity. But someone wanting to do what they want to do has nothing to do with maturity. It has something to do with that's what the mind wants them to do.
But let's go just to reference some people in our circle.
We married, so I don't care. So,
but friends, right? So they be wilding in them streets. Okay, we hang out together. We go to clubs together, and so they make jokes about us spending time together. But then behind the closed doors, they'll say, "I really want what you guys have." Well, sit down and act like you got some sense.
That part.
I'll say this though. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it all the way 100 with both of y'all. Like, I've been around you guys, and you guys do have a cool relationship. That's difficult. You know what I mean? What I see from the two of you, honestly, is that that's something that you guys both really want. And that's something that both players in that drama in a marriage have to really want. Like, you have to really want that thing. You have to really want 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and nowadays, just across the line for men and for women, it's really hard to find somebody who's even really on that vibe where divorce is just not an option or whatever else the case may be. And so they try to do the things the right way. You know what I mean? So that's a hard place to get to. And I don't know at what stage of the game you get to it. But I think for me, and what I've seen is that a lot of guys probably want it, they just don't know how to achieve it.
Yeah. Kadane said it's true. It's intentionality. Kadane said it's intentionality. You got to be intentional if you want things to work out in a marriage, right? It's work.
Yeah.
Just be and think things are going to work out if you're not taking the necessary steps in order to make it happen.
Yeah,
I agree
with
Charles. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say I know somebody that actually plays in the streets hard. And I had a conversation with him, and I was like, "Dude, you need to settle down." He was like, "I ain't gonna lie to you. I tried it. I tried to settle down, even though I knew that a little bit that he wasn't really trying to settle down on some aspects. But he was like, I don't want to." And it becomes a lot of guys make it a conscious decision, you know what I mean, to be like, no, I don't want to. And the funny thing about it, a lot of women will hear those words, I don't want a relationship. And then they'll try to force that guy, and this goes vice versa, man and woman. So don't be like, oh, just women or man. But they'll try to force that relationship. And then you'll get a guy that's caught up, like, oh man, I do like her, but he still wants to do what he wants to do. And then they'd be like, oh, well, he's a horrible person. No, he actually told you how horrible he was. You just wanted to keep eating that horrible cocoa.
He's gonna change his mind.
Yeah, you try to make a whole housewife.
A lot of men do that exact thing and get caught up and then get mad at the man for playing the game.
Wait. Go back to Daryl. Go back to Daryl.
The Cambodian. Some fluffy, right?
And some good D. And some good.
Daryl.
So let's shift gears because I want to talk about infidelity, right? What do you constitute as infidelity? Because everybody defines it differently, right? Some people, of course, sex, right? But flirting, some people think flirting is cheating. Some people think flirting is cheating.
Hey, so I've learned that men and women definitely have different ways of
what kind of flirting are you talking here? Hold on, Essence.
Infidelity.
Break down the flirting. Break down what you consider flirting.
Yeah.
Y'all don't need a definition. Anything that you think you need to hide from your spouse, that's cheating.
If you wouldn't do it in front of them, huh?
So if you're at a restaurant, you with Brian, and Brian says something, kind of flirty to the waitress,
you're gonna get popped.
I learned how to dunk.
What about like him looking at other women? Are you okay with him looking at other women?
Yes. And that's only because like that's natural. Sometimes I'm like, look at her booty. Like, is that real?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, but I'm not. Would you be as comfortable if I saw somebody's, you know what I'm saying, somebody's male part?
Hey, don't ask me. You ask them. I agree.
Okay. Well, I think with what you said is key. Is it's something you have to hide. If you have to hide it, if he's in front of you, like, dang, look at her big old cheese, big old
bitties.
Tickle bitties, in front of you, like, because she's a woman, or the same with that. Look at that dude, he's taller, whatever. But when it goes a step further, when you're online and you're hiding and erasing your search engine, then that's a whole nother level. As long as you're comfortable enough to where you can, it's playful. It could be playful banter or whatever at that sense. So I think in front of each other.
Is pornography cheating?
If you're hiding it, if it's like, hey baby, let's pop something in, get this thing popping, that you doing that together, I think.
But if you're hiding the porn, like, so if the man say he's addicted to porn and he's like doing it behind your back,
I don't know if that's cheating. I just
does anybody think that's cheating? Does anybody and please type this in the chat box if you think a man like looking at porn and hiding it is cheating. Does anybody think that
women watch porn too?
Wait.
You're talking about the hiding piece of it.
Hiding. So
the hiding piece of it. Yes, this is the thing, and y'all could chime in, tell me if I'm wrong, you feel I'm wrong or whatever. But I feel like this: I'm enough, right? And so, yeah, I'll be all bad if I'm in So the wigs, they got things for things, you know what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying is, when you start getting into porn, because you said addicted, and that's a whole different, when the lying, the cheating comes into place, because you're lying about, first of all, you got a problem. We need to discuss that in general. But just the fact that you're hiding something, anytime you have to hide something, that means you are setting up intentions to do what you do. You don't think it's right or whatever have you, or I'm going to think it's wrong. And then you hiding something. So if you do that, when that's a character, that's your character. Is to do something and hide it. Don't do that. Just say what it is. I like porn and this is what I want to do. And are you cool with it? Like Angela said. Now, when you just come with this is what it is, are you cool with it? You might have somebody that's cool with it, and then y'all can do it together, whatever y'all do. But for me, look.
I wouldn't like, go watch that porn, dude. Just don't touch me. Go watch your porn.
Yeah, because see, this is another thing. Men don't understand. You are getting desensitized because you sit there and look at all these glamorous people that got lighting and looking the greatest, you know what I'm saying? Because they knew the camera was on, right? Then you got to go lay up with your woman with a rag on her head. Not to say that you should even have a rag on your head, but I'm just saying.
We don't put our bonnets on. If we don't have our bonnets on, okay?
Oh, Lord.
Are toys? You're gonna wait, and you're gonna put the girl on the porn and my girl, the girl on the porn, or the strip club. Don't get it twisted. The strip club and my girl, and then you weighing that thing out. I'm just saying.
Essence, you're with your husband. For you, porn is cheating.
Okay. It's gonna be a little bit more than surface. Okay. In my mind, you're looking at the temptation of it all, right? So you're not looking at this lady and picturing my head, okay? Because that ain't me, that's her. So are you lusting after me or are you lusting after her? So now it creates these insecurities in me that I may not have had before. I don't want my husband looking at, big booty, because I ain't got no big old booty. Don't do that.
But I mean, you don't need a porn. It could be assisted, at walking down the street, or walking down the street. Like, you don't need porn for him to think about another woman. Like, you can't be absorbed, in my opinion. You can't be absorbed with what another man is thinking. When y'all together, you just got to get yours, girlfriend.
I hear you. And
so what about for women? What about for women? If a woman uses something, has extra a toy or whatever, is that cheating? What if she's doing it? What could it be? Would it be the same? No.
I have some examples of that.
Wait, what's your examples?
You got examples coming.
I mean,
hilarious.
What's the difference in that and porn? I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
I was in a long-term committed relationship, and he didn't like the fact that I had a toy. And he felt like I wanted the toy, while we were being intimate. And he was like, if you bring that toy, it's going to turn me off and I'm not going to be able to perform. And I was like, why? What?
What?
His freak level is real low.
Right.
Yeah, well, I think he was just insecure, like all the way around. So, but I didn't feel like that was cheating. To me, infidelity and cheating when in a relationship is if you're doing something that is outside of the boundaries that we set for our relationship. I see beautiful women. I'm not a lesbian or bi or anything, but if we're out and I see a woman that is attractive, I might say to my mate, wow, she look good, she bad. Like, I'm not, but the respect level that you have, if you look and you staring her down and turning around and got your mouth open and doing all of that, that's when it becomes a problem because it's disrespectful. But we both.
That's disrespectful if you don't have a wife, though. Like,
but some people do that. They, they stare just a little bit too long, and it was like, okay, a glance is fine, but you looking a little too hard here.
Shout out to the Scorpios there, Dara. I see.
Dara, what? Oh, he said, I'm glad I'm a Scorpio because we have such a relationship. Okay. All right. So anybody else on the cheating? So everybody has a different definition of cheating. And I love what you said, Candace, because you said, I mean, it really is dependent upon the boundaries that you place. Because for you, Essence, you say, porn, Marthella's like porn because I'm enough. Angela's like, let's do this together.
And be honest and say what it is, though. That's the main thing. Like Angela said, if you say this is what you like to do, then and we talk about that, then that's what it is. I think it's a conversation.
So Charles, for you, what defines cheating for you?
Wow, so I'm a little bit different, man, in that regard. Because I don't really even like to exist in that space. I'm honestly like, I really don't think about it. Just don't have me out here looking stupid.
Yeah.
But have you had the conversation? So have you had the conversation?
That's the conversation that I typically would have. Like, that's the conversation that I have with my wife. Like, like I'm not really tripping about, you going out with your girls and you hanging out or whatever else the case may be. Two rules. Don't have somebody else come and tell me something that you should have told me. And then the second rule is don't have me out here looking stupid. Don't have me out here doing everything I can for you and you wilding out and you doing whatever you want to do. And I'm all thinking it's one way. You know what I mean? Like, if we're going to be this way, let's be this way together. Or let's be the other way together. Otherwise, let's just not. So, but don't have me thinking it's cool and it ain't cool like that. Because, we could still be cool. We could still be together. We could do whatever. If that's how we gonna roll, you know what I mean? Just let me know. So that way I have the benefit of saying I'm cool with it or I'm not cool with it.
Right.
And then again, like I said, just don't have me out here looking, don't have people coming up to me telling me stuff that you should have told me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I want to hear it from you. I don't want to hear it from other people. So in that regard, I'm a little bit different. Like, I don't expect, and I guess because I know Taisha, she was on there, she said it has a lot to do with your upbringing, and I agree with that. My upbringing personally, I didn't have the best relationship with women growing up, you know what I mean? So my level of trust in women is kind of, a little bit low anyway. So that's kind of how I set myself up for success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't try to put a whole lot of emphasis on it. I just say, hey, look, I don't have these expectations one way or the other. At the same time, if I find out and it's not from you, I have a problem with it. Yeah. If I find out from you, it's probably something that we could work through. It's probably something that we can get through. But if I'm not hearing it from you, if I'm hearing it from the streets, or if I'm hearing it from other people, or you just out here just really, really wilding, then yeah, it'll be a whole nother situation.
Daryl's stupid. Daryl is
some crazy
stuff.
Hey, who got some friends?
Don't get in a relationship, point blank. Daryl crazy, Daryl. So we have a wide range of people, in their different spiritual beliefs. And somebody said on here, if they don't believe in God. So how important does religion play a role, and is that a deal breaker for any of you?
In the beginning, I'm going to say yes. As I have evolved in my own life and seen things for the church of what it is, I mean, you might crucify me, but it doesn't make a difference. Everybody else puts God to this level, and I do too, but yeah, that's kind of iffy for me. I mean, I've had a lot of issues when it comes to the church.
So what about
God and all that kind of stuff?
So say you're a Christian and they're a Muslim. Do you think that will be a deal breaker for you, or you're not tripping off a religion at all?
I'm not tripping off religion at all.
Okay. All right. What about you, Charles?
No.
So you both
essence
yoked in.
Yeah, I'm different.
We all different, girl.
I'm indifferent to religion. What I'll say.
Yeah.
I grew up as a Christian, and initially in our relationship, he was really heavy on religion, and I gave him my best shot. I did, and then I decided, I still went to church, and I tell him how I felt about it. I would never, crucify him for his thoughts, his beliefs, and I just kind of went along with the flow. It was like, okay, we're going to church on Sunday, let's go. Are we going to hometown buffet after? I'm ready.
Well, I ain't gonna lie to you.
The reward
We
to going to
ain't-
church is getting the home.
We ain't been in the church in years. If we go to a church, it's
We're not
funeral.
going. Yeah, okay.
You know, so the relationship and the whole church in a relationship.
Well, I guess
Yeah,
it's God. I don't know if it's church going or anything.
it's not the church going, but just you know what I mean. Having that, you know what I mean, relationship. I'm gonna tell you this. Sorry, you cannot have church in your relationship and still make it. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody, oh, you gotta have church.
Wait. Let's clarify. Church or God?
Yeah,
God.
that's trying to get the understanding because
You said you can't have.
Okay, I apologize, God.
Okay, let's talk about it.
That you can, it's millions of people that are doing it. Everybody can look at it like, no, you can't. No, yeah, you can. You can have your relationship and not have God in it. You know what I mean? Everybody is not religious. Everybody is not onto that, you know, aspect of it. Yeah. Sorry.
All right, Charles. What do you think? Do you feel like is that a deal breaker for you? You know, religion.
It's a deal breaker for me when you try to force your religion or force your belief system on me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when it becomes a deal breaker for me. You know, like, and I saw somebody put it in there, how can two be together unless they be equally yoked? I believe that too, but I believe being equally yoked, when you look at the historical fractions of that and what that actually means, it means being able to walk on the same path. That's not just spiritually, that's in every single facet of your life. Mm-hmm. So even if you guys don't necessarily believe in the same superstructure of religion, if you guys still believe that there's a God, you know, that's on the same path. You know, how you reach that path or whatever you decide to do, I think that's cool. Like for Essence and for Brian, that works because they don't like going to church. So, but for somebody that's their...
I say this. Are you okay with me saying that?
Yeah.
Okay. Me personally, I believe in God. Okay. Yeah, because everybody got, you know, you just putting everything on front street.
Wait, what did you say? I didn't hear you. You said what?
I believe in God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The whole Jesus, that's iffy. That's like a rickety bridge for me. That's why I say that I have a problem with the church when it comes to church and God. Everybody say, no, church is different and God, it all comes together because that's how you get it. Yeah. My wife is not, because she is not being.
I would be what people call an atheist.
Yeah. So the reason why I say that it can't work, because we're 15 years married, 20 years together. So you're asking that question. It can work. Yeah. You know what I mean? Plain and simple, it can work.
I think you just have to be respectful of each other's beliefs, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like you guys are respectful of each other's beliefs. Like, she ain't telling you not to believe in God, and you ain't trying to force God on her. So
and I understand where she's coming from. Of me and her, when I did go to church and when we did do, you know what I mean? And she was like, all right, cool, let's go. We get the kids together. It is what it is. She tried to find out what she can get out of it. You know what I mean? Vice versa as me, I did the same thing. I used to run a Christian club. So I was into it hard. I loved it. But just some things that just didn't click with me. And so, but to answer your question, yes, you can still be in a relationship
if you have separate
beliefs or God not having God.
And here's the thing about that, you guys, because, you know, Black people, we are the most spiritual, religious people on earth, right? Like, Black people, we love our Jesus and fried chicken.
African Americans,
right? We do. So
African Americans,
we love our Jesus and our fried chicken.
Yeah, African Americans.
I don't have to do the fried chicken. I'm staying on the fried
chicken. But let me just say this. I know Essence and Brian personally, and I can tell you when the time that Essence told me that she was an atheist, I think I was like, because you just don't. Yeah, I was so blown away. Like, how did I not know this?
I'm just finding that out today.
Yeah, right. I mean, but I still love her. Like, she's still my girl. She's still the same. She ain't crazy. But I was just so blown away because don't see Black people who just don't believe in God. I can respect her. She respects me. They ain't got no thing. Love her, have fun, whatever. So, it doesn't make, she's absolutely a wonderful person. That's just her belief. And that's okay.
Angela, you okay?
You know what? And honestly, I believe anything can work. I honestly believe it's an individual, your relationship, and like Constance asked, what do you feel? So I think that's awesome. I think with me, because I'm so keen to chemistry and to commonality, that would be like somebody telling me they hate music. I'd be like, oh, because I have such a passion for music, that would be tough for me. Because when I'm trying to shoot you songs like, oh, this slaps.
Fire.
Yeah. And you like, don't send me another song. We might fight. You know what I mean? Because that's how much So I think with me, just how passionate I am, and I think that's awesome. I absolutely believe that anything can work if you put your mind to it and you work at it.
Yeah,
I think that's all it takes. But me personally, it has to be connection. It has to be something where
religion.
And I'm just saying.
That's part of your connection. I just want to clarify. That's part of your connection.
That would. I mean, it would be like that extreme. I think I would have an issue with. I mean, that like if I wanted to get on my knees and like I need you to pray with me, and it was like no, because I don't believe in what you're praying. That me personally, that would kind of But as far as I'm going to church and you don't, but you still believe in God or whatever, that wouldn't be that extreme. But I think that's awesome. You're looking beyond, that person, to you. And I commend you. This is me personal. And like I said, just equating it to music or, something that I'm just passionate about. And my relationship with Christ is very important to me. So that would be tough. That would be really tough.
Yes, me as well. So like that's one of those beginning questions that when you're dating someone, what do you like to do? Who do you, what do you believe in? Things like that. Now, for me, I grew up in the church, and so I know the good and the bad and the ugly. I've been behind scenes in churches, so I know what can go on. I look at church is a hospital, and so people go there to get help. So everybody you deal with at the church, and there's a lot of, especially with Black people, as I talk to them, there are a lot of church hurts. Everything that's in the street is in the church because they come to the hospital.
I always say church folks be the worst folks.
Yes, and so those sayings come about because of a reason. But we're all people, whether you're inside the doors, outside the doors. If you have a church at home, you do your Bible study at home with your children. We all are in this walk, right? Everybody has individual walks. Now, I've been with a Muslim for many years. Actually, I've been with 2 Muslims for many years, and so you can definitely be with someone that has a different belief than you per se, long as everyone is respectful of what's going on. Right. Yeah. And so they had nothing but respect for me. They understood where I stood in my beliefs in God. And I'm more of a one-on-one relationship with God. I don't need any religious folks and telling me what to do, how to live my life. Yeah. I can do that. God gave me free will and I can do that. I go to church on a regular basis because it builds me up spiritually. So a lot of people have to go to counseling and lay on couches and talk to psychiatrists. I don't have to do that. I go to church, I pray, and I'm good. So to each their own. But I respect everybody's point of view when it comes to religion and spirituality and energy and all that. So I believe in all those things, and we all live here amongst us all. We all got to get along. And so whether you believe or you don't believe, that's between you and God and how he wants to deal with you. And everybody's got to deal with whatever you want to call it, the universe, or what people are saying all different kind of things right now, either nothing or universe or my higher power, whatever you call it, you deal with that situation however life.
Some people like Essence don't believe in none of that. So
that's
higher
power. That's why I mentioned or none of that. So
nothing. Like blank.
So nothing. So,
I ain't got no opinion.
Yeah.
well, right. So, to each their own. And so they found commonality. I guess before it was church on one side and not on the other. Now it's none. And that works for them. And I know people that have been married for many, many years, and it works for them. For me, I'm like Angela in the sense of you don't have to go to church every Sunday and Wednesday or nothing like that with me. But there has to be a common respect. And as far as outside of just church and God, we have to have some commonality. We have to have some goals. We have to have some vision. We have to build each other up individually because we are individual people. That's how I feel. And so as long as he pushing me on my goals and dreams, I can push him on his goals and dreams. And together we have some universe things that we're pushing each other for the unit. But yeah, I can see that working for sure.
Candy.
For me, religion and race is really important. You know, I feel like I need to.
Wait, we didn't ask about race, but she wanted to throw that in there. Religion and race. You got to.
We can talk about that. Yeah, we can get to that subject.
And a black man. Yes.
Yeah, I need them to be.
Do me a favor. I'm gonna give you my kid's cell phone number, and so you can preach the race thing to them. Sorry,
I'll back you up.
Let me just tell you, you won't fly Nubian Queen, the station that is for melanated people just like you. So I think everybody.
I want my babies to bring home a black man as black as me, please.
Yeah, I have 3, and my oldest did not, but now she is, and that was a challenge as well. So, I just feel like I need to have, like you were saying, commonality, common conversation. I need to be able to leave one of my corporate meetings or corporate events, and we both get in the car, and I could say these, and you understand where I'm coming from. And if I'm in the car and I'm having a praise and worship session, it won't be anything foreign to you, or you won't be turned off by it. And I've experienced dating someone who we weren't on the same page, and every time I would say something, it would it wouldn't offend him, but it would disrupt his spirit, as I would say. And so I was like, it's really important for us to be able to have these same conversations, whether it is like you two said, you both are on the same page in regards to that. So it works. But if I'm going in one direction and you're going in another, it's not going to work for me. So we both have to be on the same page with that.
Same page. So and that's good. And that's what I think everybody said. Well, actually, the 3 of you on the bottom are saying, nah, we really have to be same religion, right?
But not religion for me, more God, you have to have a relationship with God.
More relationship.
Yeah, because you can break that down in so many ways. I mean, then when we get into religion, like, are we the same denomination? There's Christians that have different beliefs.
And there is some set tripping in that. Yeah,
there is.
For real, because if you're a Baptist, you go to that Pentecostal church.
Right.
First time you go to a Pentecostal church as a Baptist, you're going to have an experience.
Set tripping. It shouldn't be that way, but that's what it is.
Emmanuel used to battle Maranatha.
Right.
Oh my God, what is this?
Why are
we used to go to church?
Right. We all did. So let me ask you this. So submission, because somebody talked about submission, right? And what do you feel? We have 2 married couple. Well, Charles is married, but his wife isn't here. And then we have Essence and Brian.
Where your wife at?
Downstairs, she just came home.
Oh, tell her to come on up.
She ain't coming.
So what do you think about submission? Submitting, Essence. The Bible talks about, you don't. But what do you think about being submissive to your husband, and what does that mean to you?
Okay, that's a trigger word for me.
I love it. Let's
Now,
talk.
I can be honest. That is a trigger word for me. So I don't know if we can color that, another way.
So you ain't submit to nobody.
Well,
put it like this. If you wrap it up,
yeah, put it in a different,
in a bow.
Yeah. Give me a different.
Because it's funny, because if you say, oh, Essence, submit to your husband, she's coming out guns blazing because
You're
that
so
word for her is,
it's a trigger word.
Yeah, it's a trigger word for her.
Yeah.
But on a daily basis,
she is submissive.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
You won't say the word.
It's kind of like Red and Debo. Like, when he come, I be quiet, but when he leave, I be talking again.
But in all fairness, like, I don't know, most home situations was you were raised by a single mother, right? And so you see a lot of things differently. Being raised by a single woman, your aunts are probably single, your great aunts, your grandmother. And so, we had a movement to where it was, I don't need a man, I don't want a man, and, boom, boom, boom. And then when you get one, you're like, well, what you want me to do? Like, why you can't do it?
Yeah.
And you got this movement, right?
Yeah.
And so I need a different word, ask me a different way. I don't even know how to repackage that. but that word just for me is a trigger. But there's things that my definition of submission is gonna be vast. It's gonna be much different than I'm sure he is.
It ain't gonna. It's the definition. It's just not the word. Because you're gonna submit to that man. You just ain't gonna say it's submitting. It's awesome.
I think that's important for every relationship though too, right? It's like it's how you define it.
Sure.
Because it's what, because I think depending on who says it and what they mean by it, and it changes your level of offense.
Okay.
So I think, if it comes off right, like, hey, this is what I mean when I say submission, and this is how that looks, and this is how that feels. I think it comes off completely different.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, it doesn't look like what it used to look like in the olden days. It really doesn't. For the most part now, it looks like, our queens hold down the house just as much as the men do.
Sure.
And they're working and they're doing all of these other different things. So where is the line drawn? And I think for most men, it would be, and Brian, you can help me out on this too. I think, at least for me, I'm like, I'm gonna hold down the exterior of this foundation, right? So nothing ever is going to ever come inside of it that we don't need to deal with. And I'm asking that you hold down the interior of it, right? And we work together to keep it solid. And I'm gonna help you wherever you need help. I'm gonna ask you to help me wherever I need help, and let's keep it moving. But there's never going to be a time where I'm not going to fight for or defend my family. But when it comes to that time for that thing to happen, I don't need you to be the one to try to stand up and try to make that and be that person to fight. That's my role for you. Okay. Let me handle that. Right. So that's
hard for, I'll say younger. Yeah. Black.
But when the strength of your husband, though, you don't have a problem with doing that. You know what I mean? Because I think even go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say, one reason why, because I had someone that wanted to, move to the marriage phase that I had been dating for a long time, and I just observed certain moves that this person was making. And for me, I believe in submission. I believe in gender roles. I love it. Like it, but as a man, I felt like he wanted to stick his chest out, but couldn't stick his chest out. And I hold down a lot of responsibility as a single mother, as a business executive, and that carries a lot of weight. So for me, there are things that I was looking for as my mate and as a man, for me to feel comfortable enough and to trust him enough to say, I am going to submit to you. I'm looking at, are you responsible? Are you honest? Do you do what you say you're going to do? If you don't do any of those things and you're not checking those boxes, then for me as a woman, I didn't feel comfortable enough submitting to that man. But
that's cool because that's not your husband, man. I mean, that's
no,
essentially what you're
and I
saying.
realized, yeah, and that's when I said that we're not moving forward because I couldn't submit to you because you weren't doing those things. But I feel like if you're doing all those things, it will come easy, it will come naturally, and you're gonna do things. You're gonna make decisions based on us as a family, us as a couple, and then us as a family. And it wouldn't be a problem for me to let you lead. But if you're not doing all of that, then no, I'm not submitting to you.
Well, I have the same.
Let's clarify what submission is.
What you said, hold on really quick, because Candace, what you said is so poignant. A lot of men want a woman to submit, but they don't want to be the head of the house. They don't want to do what it takes for a woman to submit to them. They just want to they want you to submit because they're a man, but they're not acting in a man capacity.
Right.
And so I get that, and I understand why you didn't go to the next level, the next phase of actually marrying that man, because how could you submit? Because you believe in gender roles. Does everybody here believe in gender roles? Essence, do you believe in gender roles? Mm-hmm. Shut up. You said it.
Her husband sitting next to her. She can't speak about that right now.
Certain things in our household. I'm gonna tell you this: gender roles is very, it's very vague. You know what I mean? Especially in a time like now.
It's obsolete.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say obsolete.
It's obsolete. Like, you're gonna ask me to help you in the yard. Am I gonna hit you with that's a no? I'm gonna ask you to sweep. Like, there's no gender roles any longer. We don't.
But I mean,
so you take
I don't think there's
in different economics. I think in certain households that the gender roles are still in play in a lot of homes. And so, but for me, I'm like her. I believe that I'm a strong, Black woman, and I've took care of myself for many, many years and raised kids, right? I've had, not to take away from any, the man that helped me. But I believe that that's where a lot of, as far as knowing God, right, for me, and the reason why I have to have a man that loves God, right? Because if he's submitted to God, then I can submit to him, because he's not going to be no tyrant. And he's not going to feel like I'm a man in gender, so that makes me be able to do whatever I want to do. Tell you, come here, woman. You know what I mean? So I think, if you're being taught, and not like that, I say that the way that I did it for purpose, because there are a lot of great men out there. Maybe they don't go to a church every Sunday, Wednesday type of thing. They don't even maybe necessarily believe the way I do, right? Exactly to the T. But they have a relationship with God, and they put him first in their actions and doings, and then they handle me a certain kind of way, right? Because I've been single a while, so I know the difference between, and I know what a man's supposed to do. So for me, right? For me. And so, but if he's doing his part as, and he wants to be, for single women, I tell my friends all the time, have this conversation often. And they say, I can't be submissive. I can't be submitted. I can't. But the reality is if he makes that easy for you to do, if he's handling his business, if he's doing his part, then why wouldn't you? Because he's just taking care of the house the way he's supposed to be, what God created him to do. Mm-hmm. And you do your part, and then everything, the harmony is there. Right.
I think submission has been abused by a lot of men previously.
In the wrong way.
That word, yes, that word is a trigger for people like Essence. But I don't think submitting, like, absolutely, you come correct, you will definitely be submitted to. But Angela, what's your thoughts around submission?
So I believe, this is me, I believe that true submission is pretty much twofold. I agree with what Marcella said. In the sense, if we go biblical, the Bible says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and died for the church. So if you do it that way, and you love your wife in such a way that you're not going to be a tyrant. You're not going to, but you love her. So when you love something, when you love your car, you love inanimate objects, or when a man truly loves something, they're going to honor that thing. They're going to respect it. They're going to take care of it. They're not, all of that we desire is going to be there. And then it's twofold. So then what will a woman do? And when she feels honored, loved, and respected, she's going to naturally submit.
I love the way you talk, girlfriend. I agree 100%. So let's change the topic and let's talk about money. Because me and my good girlfriends, we in situations a lot of times, especially in California, we tend to, a lot of the women make more money than our men. And for some men in some places, I was told that, they are not interested in being with no woman. That I've seen men say this, like, I will not let a woman make more than me. All right. So you make $100,000, but she make $1 million. So you ain't going to be with her because she make $1 million. So what do you guys, what do you men feel? How do you feel about that, Charles? You're a man.
I feel like it depends. Yeah. It depends on how you treat your million versus how I treat my 100,000. If you use your million as a means of controlling my 100,000, then we got a problem. But if you use your million and say, okay, I understand that my husband is working his ass off tirelessly to provide for this family, and right now what he has is 100,000. He's not complacent. He's still trying to get to $1 million. I just happen to already be there. Let me make sure that I still give him the respect and everything else that he deserves with his 100,000, and not because I got $1 million, then we good. But if your $1 million over my $100,000 gives you that much more power, then I don't want it.
Yeah, I want to say for me, like money doesn't matter because I make a lot of it, and so it's hard for a lot of men to. Right, so that doesn't matter to me. My thing is respect the money. If we could go in the same direction, you managing the money like I'm managing the money, we're working this together, then I'm good. Like you don't have to make no money as long as you're living in your dreams and doing what it is that you want to do. I'm good with that. So like you just have to, for me, I think as a woman, you have to have the same mentality around money. If I'm making all this money, you can't be spending all this money. There has to be some responsibility with it.
I agree with that. I feel like your responsibility first and foremost is to do what you can in your capacity. So if it's managing the house because your wife is a millionaire, she's out there, killing it, then manage the house, take care of stuff, make sure that's all squared away. You know what I mean? And that, bills are paid, everything else is taken care of or whatever. And it's good. So I wholeheartedly believe that. I think for some
gender roles, is that a bit conflicting with gender roles?
And that was going to be my other question.
That's what I'm saying, but I didn't agree with the way that gender roles really.
Does money determine who's in charge in the relationship?
I think to some degree, sometimes for some people it does. I think, for some men, unfortunately, they have this thing in the back of their mind where they're like, because I don't make enough money or I don't make a lot more money than her, they feel unequal, or they feel like, they're not who they are, or whatever the case may be. At the same time, I feel like for some women, because they feel like they make more money than men, they feel like they should be able to determine everything that goes on, like they wearing the drawers or the pants in the house. I don't agree with either perspective.
Yeah, you got to still be able to submit, but the man still has to be willing to lead, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah. You said, how can that work?
No, submission. I think we all have a different definition of that.
I would submission in terms of respecting, like your man, your husband. I believe in gender roles too. So, he's your covering, he's your lead. You go to him, you go to him for advice, and you go to each other. It's a mutual thing. But all right, Angela.
Why you say that? Why you go to me? Honestly, I was gonna say as for
let's talk about what the word submissive means.
Okay, we're going backwards.
Before we do that, go ahead, Angela.
No, so I was just gonna say, as far as money, if you're married, and I have a married friend or couple, And when they go on vacation, he has to make sure he has enough money for them to go on vacation. His money is his money, and her money is her money. And when I was married, to me, it's our money. You know, you may make X amount and I may make X amount, but you know what? The pot is ours because, especially in California, it's community property. So
you put all your money in one together, both your all your money in one. Is that what you just said?
When I was married, yes, we had a joint bank account. And
that's
so,
the only bank account?
Oh, okay. When and will I do that? Will I do that the next go round? I don't know, but I'm just saying. When he said, "Oh, I'm not going to get to go on vacation because I didn't have enough money," I was like, "Huh?" That was bizarre to me. You know, that your wife would not let you go on vacation because you didn't stack enough bread.
Didn't let him.
Yeah, because his money was his money and her money was hers, and he had to get his stuff together. He didn't make enough that month, so you know what? He didn't get to buy his ticket. To me, that was
you didn't buy it for him.
No, that's how separate it was. So that's why,
that's nuts.
That's cool. I'd be like, and I would be like, that's cool. The next time you forget your wallet, bet you I don't buy your cheeseburger.
Right, right. That's scandalous. That's scandalous.
But so that's what I'm saying.
You should have separate bank accounts and one joint house one. That's my opinion on that. And so if he was short, then he could do it. Because I think like this. I had a friend. She's married. Her husband went to go get a beer or something like that, and he had to check in to get a beer. And I'm like, why would he need to check in to get a beer, right? But my thing is, if he mismanaged his money that he got working, blah blah blah, they have a set amount going into the pot for the household to go out, right? All bills paid. You work hard, I work hard. This is my money. That's your money. This is our money. And so, but if you need to do something. Absolutely, you need it. Hey, I'm your mate. So yeah, here you go. Not a problem.
Yeah.
But now you just tricking off all your money. You worked all month on, but I'm supposed to handle all my part of the bills, and you just tricking off money. No, that's not responsible. Like Essence said, I mean, you gotta have, or one of them said, you gotta be responsible with the money. But I don't think everything should go in one pot. Just because, and I've seen a lot of people get left with a younger woman, and then they don't got nothing because all their money is in one pot. Now you don't want to.
Let's do a poll on that. Is everybody believe in one pot? Does everybody believe in one pot?
I believe in the Holy Trinity.
Let's raise your hand if you believe in only one pot.
The Holy Trinity.
Pot. Essence is one pot only. All money. Okay, 2 people out of 6. Okay.
Oh,
well, like I said, when I was married, I don't know now, but when I was married, it was one pot. I mean, it's not it's just how it is. But when we paid all the bills with that, when we went on vacation, it was everyone's vacation. It wasn't, oh, you need to buy a beer. The ATM went to both. You buy a beer. It wasn't, we were mismanaging, it was just one pot. We paid all the bills. We had money in there. You got to do this, so it's just different. I don't know how I would do. I mean, that was 13 years ago. I don't know how it would be now. I'm not saying so, and that comes with communication. That comes with what you agree upon. Yeah.
Personally, I don't trip on that issue like that. The financial thing, like it's not a big deal to me, and I never make it a big deal. But because I don't, it doesn't mean that you don't. So that's where I kind of like, well. I need to just make sure we're good. But yeah, no, I don't.
The funny thing about it, a lot of people that are married, okay, that don't have separate, that do have separate accounts. That's when that individuality comes from. Yeah. Okay, and is understanding that you're going to have your separate account when you're single. Yeah. But when you get married, it's all based off of getting married with somebody that's, that you have a connection with. But having a separate account, me and her, we had a separate account in the beginning. And it was more individual setup that kind of wasn't, it was kind of like a little bit of a problem with the individuality because how much you got, how much, you know what I mean? Putting all in one pot, because a lot of people, and I get what you're saying, when you put it all in one pot, how can you do this? It ended up bringing up a whole bunch of bull crap. We was looking at something online. Somebody made a certain amount of money and the woman made a certain amount, and the husband was like, oh, well, you still got to pay this amount. Well, if the money got deposited in the same account,
right,
you know what I mean? That's no issue because it's coming out the same account.
But I think
I'm able to dip into your money and you're able to dip into mine.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about a percentage account. So everybody.
But here's the thing, though. But here's the difference between Bride and Essence. I'm sorry, Marthella. The difference between Bride and Essence is they started off really young together and they built their empire together, right? You're single. Quit saying that. You're single, right? So at this stage in your life, 40 plus, you ain't about to put your money.
40 plus.
You know, 40 plus up on this mug. So you're not about to put you're not. Charles, are you 40 yet? Okay, we all 40 plus. So no, Essence, you're not 40 yet. Essence, what, you 38? Essence 38. So, but you know, you're not going to put your money with somebody else's. Like if I were to get remarried, that would just absolutely not happen. But you know, coming from a place where you're with somebody for a long time,
grow up together.
Yeah. Candace, what's your thoughts around that? Money?
As far as joint bank accounts or not having them, I think that we should have one joint and he has his own and I have my own. But we have an understanding on, you know, what the agreement is on what goes into the joint, what goes out of the joint. And I don't believe in it being a secret. If he's like, let me see what's going on in your account, by all means, you can look. Like, I'm not going to do anything shady, but I feel like you should have separate. And I actually know two couples that I'm very, very close with. They both have been married for many years. One couple, these two people are multimillionaires. They have separate accounts and they have a joint account. And they asked for permission before they were going to buy a TV. Well, she was going to buy a TV and she called her husband to make sure it's okay. I'm like, okay, y'all have millions of dollars. Like, why do you need to, you know, converse about something like that? But that's just the level of respect and communication. And she said, hey, we have an agreement. If it's over $500, we talk to each other before we make that purchase.
Yeah,
and then
I agree with that.
Yeah,
fine. I agree with that too. If the
Beautiful.
Right. So they
you got money, don't just blow it away and then be like, yeah, I came home with a $20,000 blah blah blah. And be like,
right.
What the hell did you do that for?
Yeah, I think communication is always number one on my list for relationships in general. So yeah, definitely you want to communicate. But I definitely believe in the separation of the household account. And now even we talked about the men or women making more money and all that. Of course, I've had that problem, right? So I don't believe necessarily things have to be 50-50 because like my 50% and your 50% could be different. So household bills might be say $5,000, right? But if you only make $3,000, $4,000, I can't expect you to just give, you know, your whole check to bills, or if it's $7,000, whatever it is, right? So no, a percentage. So if we agree, sit down, these are the bills. Bills come up with $5,000. You make $5,500. I'm not gonna have you put your whole $5,000 check and keep $500. You work just like I work. So I don't mind taking up the slack when it's appreciative and that's a communication that was established. Right. Yeah. You better bring your whatever we put down. So if you bring in 3,000 to the table and you got 2,000 extra and I got to bring that extra, whatever, 3,000 or 3,500, 4,000 to make it ends meet. But that goes into that joint account. The bills can be paid. And then we have an extra on top of that. So we can pay for vacations and all that. When we have that number established, you better bring that to the table because I'm going to bring mine to the table. And then I think it just makes it so smooth because you already have your bills lined up and paid. You have savings being stacked together, but you have your outside things. So if he wants to go out with the boys and kick it, or you need to go out with the girls, you don't have to tap in and then you looking on bank statement talking about, ooh, you don't went to you were at the Japanese restaurant. Why you spending $150? You was paying for your friends and all that. Like, no, we ain't gonna do all that.
But you know what you said was
no, I'm gonna do that.
what you said was very important, Marcella, and that's communication. At the end of the day, at the end of it all, like communication is what has to happen, because if you guys don't have an understanding of what's really going on, because what works for everybody is it works for them, right? Everybody has their differing ways that works. But then it goes back to like balance too, right? And I know one of my friends, Lisa Nichols, she says balance is a myth, harmony is a must. Type that in the chat box. Balance is a myth, harmony is a must, right? So if you trying to put everything together, trying to have balance, trying to, make it all fit, make it all work. How Charles, for you, how are you making it, balancing, or, are you able to balance all? Everybody here, you guys are all professionals. You guys, do a lot. You guys are making waves in the world. How are you able to balance it all out?
For me, I haven't always been the best at that. I mean, just being honest in terms of just balance, and that's probably, if I'm less mature in an area, work-life balance and all that kind of stuff, that's something that I got to get to. In terms of just the financial piece, I think for me, like I said, for most part, in most things, I really just don't trip about it. So it's just like, okay, we'll just take care of it. Whatever needs to be taken care of, let's just take care of it. I don't really care whose pocket it's coming out of. At the end of the day, it's all coming out of one pot, right?
Right.
So those type of things I really don't trip off of, as long as the business is handled. But at the end of the day, what I will say is that if we don't have it, it's not up to you to go get it. It's up to me to go get it. So
you are the hunter. You are the hunter. You are the hunter.
Right. So that's how I live it. You know what I mean? So it's like if we need it, I'll figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And kind of just move from there. So I don't really all the other stuff, but that I wish I knew how to balance that though. You know what I mean? With everything else, I think that would make me a better person, definitely. Just being able to manage it all, because sometimes it's not easy to do. Yeah. But but that goes without saying though, right?
Yeah.
Because what did T.I. say? Like you either want a broke man, or you want a man at home type of. I can't quote it word for word, but that's kind of what he said.
So what do you? Anybody else got any opinions? Because I'm going to wrap this up, but I got one more question about balance and harmony. Like, what are your thoughts around that? Anybody?
What he was saying, totally.
Okay. All right. Last question. Sex. I could not let you guys get away without talking about sex.
Here we go.
So, really quick. Let's talk about how important sex is in the relationship. Y'all doing it like rabbits. Y'all doing it every day, 3 times a day. We all 40 plus, except for Essence. Some of us are at our sexual peak in their 30s.
I'm in my 30s. Hold on, I should have closed my drink.
They get in their 40s, they lose. So, how important is sex in the relationship?
I'll answer. For me, it's extremely, extremely, extremely important.
40 plus, y'all.
But I am practicing celibacy and have been for quite some time. But when I am,
How long have you been celibate?
2 years. Yeah. But when
Jesus.
It can be done, y'all. It can be done.
Got that in my
Yeah, so y'all, that can be done.
But when I am in a relationship, that is like in the top 5.
So you doing it like a rabbit. You like all the time. Bang, bang, bang. 2 times a day, 3 times a day. All that.
I gotta drive like a trucker, so you better you gotta come with it. Or
how are you able to control that?
Look at Charles.
How are you able to control that? Like that's a lot of mind over matter.
It really is. I'm just at a place in my life where I'm like, hey, it's got to be right or it ain't happening. So
yeah, because they're right.
I'm mad at it.
So when it gets right, he better be ready.
Better be ready. Yes. All right, Carl. What about you?
Super important, man.
Muy importante.
Hella important. Cali word. Hella important.
Why?
That's that's the vibe. That's everything. That's the solidifier. It's the connector. So it gotta be there. It gotta be on point.
So what if the connection is right, but she's whacking good?
Damn it, man. That's,
Cheating?
yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I never asked a married man to be cheating, but
Yeah, that's
The question was for like when you were single. That's what she meant to say.
yeah. If you were single and the connection was good, but she was
When, not if, when you were single.
If
it's like gonna get you.
I mean, either way, we gotta figure that out. That is got to get figured out one way or the other. That's a huge problem. That's but I mean, hey, that's kind of like why you test drive cars. You know what I mean? So you kind of have.
Bad now.
So what?
Fornication is bad.
Fornication is bad.
Don't listen to her.
The Bible says.
I'm like, this is the atheist talking.
Right?
Right, what are you talking about?
Story. Keep going.
Yeah, no, I mean, you gotta know. You gotta know what's up.
He said,
and absolutely. That's super important.
All right, the cranies.
Oh, that's happening. Oh yeah, that's happening.
Oh,
I'm gonna go with a strong hell yeah.
Yeah,
What percentage is it? That's what the question.
100.
Huh?
How much? What's the percentage of the relationship? How important is it?
100.
So y'all don't talk or
100.
or do nothing else?
Yeah, in between.
Right after we done.
She was like, "You didn't hear me the first time."
yes. We're gonna need to have that.
Well, I feel like that's a connection, like what Charles was saying. Like there's a connection, and that's part of your intimacy, right? And as a woman and a man, I can't speak for what the different relationships look like these days, but for my specific relationship, this person is entering my body. So there's a deep connection there, every time. Don't do that. Don't be nasty. There's a deep connection, that you having with your partner on an intimate level where you're very vulnerable with this person and exposed.
Yeah, naked, almost.
Yeah, almost.
Right.
You
said absolutely.
It needs to be in a relationship. The breakdown of it is, if ain't nothing medically wrong with her or me, it needs to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
Does it? Yeah, that's 100%.
I love that.
Yeah, it needs to be happening because a lot of times.
He believes
that's important.
but they both believe that they want to have sex. Yes, absolutely.
So if you don't, and if you stop that is an attraction to that person. Okay. Yeah, then you become roommates. It's just a rigmarole thing. Oh, you don't want to sleep in the same bedroom with the person. You don't want to see them. If you can't share that moment with that person, and it's the great moment, then that's a breakdown of the relationship. Y'all just end up being friends after a while. And what happens? Okay, in a perfect relationship, stop having sex if you want to. You're gonna need to get it somewhere. No, you stop having sex in your relationship. You're gonna need to get it somewhere. And that goes for man and woman.
Yeah.
Super facts.
All right, Angie.
Yes.
That's all you got to say about that?
She's like, yes. That's it.
All right.
I believe it is important. I think it's important. I think I'm at a point saying, it's not everything, but it's up there. It's a part of the chemistry and the intimacy.
What about you, Marthella? What's your thoughts?
I agree with them as far as sex is very important, and enjoyable sex is great because you can just have sex and that might not, that is okay for a minute. But I also think ahead. I'm a thinker. And so to what, like Ryan said, like what happens if your mate can't perform or can't do something? Does the love go away? You ready to go get it somewhere else, as he said, that you're gonna get it? God forbid one of y'all on y'all deathbed, or not even deathbed, just sick and just can't perform. So I think about all those things. So in my relationship, I have to have more than just sex, because if sex is the only thing keeping you together, because it's bomb, right? What happens when that stops? So for me, even when I invest across different boards. You know what I'm saying? Like, I diversify my investments in finances. So I definitely do that when it comes to the relationship, and you keep it spicy and whatnot, but you also have.
Okay. I'm about to say, you got to clean that up a little bit, because that sounded a little bit.
That's clear. I'm bring you back. Let's start with number one. When we start this whole conversation, almost an hour and 40 minutes ago, I believe in loyalty, faithfulness, and I'm one of them ride or die chicks, right? So if we rolling like that, then you don't got to worry about nothing else, because I'm faithful and I'm with you. Period. Point blank. Right. And when it comes to sex, that's it. We this is me and you. That's what we're doing. Right. And you're going to be satisfied. You're not going to have to go nowhere else, kind of thing, right? Because if that's what we're doing and we're going to go that route, that's what it is. I'm a grown woman. What you say, 40 plus?
Grown ass woman, okay? A GAW.
Right. I'm going to get the t-shirt. You can buy it.
I do. Actually, GAW, conversation.com. Go ahead.
That's what it is, right? So we all grown here. So yeah, I believe sex is very important. I believe it does bring you closer together. That's why you got to be careful who you have sex with.
That's why you Martha. So let me ask you guys this: can you guys have sex mad at your partner?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the best.
Yes.
Mad. So you're mad at him right now. I hate your guts, and I can lay down and have sex with you.
Absolutely. It's probably one of the more intense and best ones. Yes. It's just because you're going with, feelings is involved, and you're mad. You're like, you're going to do this. And so, yeah. And because like to Brian's, what he said, like if you're mad, right? What you don't want is your man to go out there mad outside your house and he mad. and you didn't take care of your man, because that's one of your duties as a woman, right? We talking about roles and genders and things that's needed, and what's responsibilities of each partner. Now, I'm saying one side because I'm a female, but both ways. It goes both ways. You don't want your woman out there going out with the girls and she mad at you.
Right. But I think it's levels to the mad.
Have loyalty,
if she mad,
it depends on the kind of mad.
Some don't care. They will sleep around. I'm talking about in general. You just don't want to, like what they say. There was a saying back in the day. They used to say, "Don't go to bed mad." Right? Don't lay down mad at night with each other, because you want to make that thing right. So you can wait.
Chanty said, "If my man don't give it up, next." Okay.
Man, yes, you can't really do just that.
He's not playing in these streets. So listen, we didn't keep you guys on long enough. We had so much fun. We're going to continue this conversation next Tuesday about relationships. This was so fun, guys. I immensely enjoyed it. You guys were absolutely
cleanup crew is coming in the door.
Huh?
I said she just threw me in here, and cleanup is coming in the door. I was not planning on being here this late, but I'm glad I did it.
I appreciate it. And you guys, listen, we had some highly, my mama didn't text me talking about the kids hungry. We've had some highly intellectual people here on this panel talking about some really, really great things. And you guys just gave me some insights. I'm full. We've had some great comments from the folks. You guys, again, make sure all the questions that we asked about sex and about relationships, about submission, we can still continue this conversation, and just go ahead and put them in the comment box and continue the conversation when we're off. I want to invite you guys to go to Constance Carter VIP. I'm doing a Q&A. I want you to subscribe. Listen, I've partnered with Dr. Boyce. The first month is absolutely free to you. Okay, so if you want to pick my brain, if you want to talk about anything you want to talk about, let's go to ConstanceCarterVIP.com and subscribe, and we're going to have a Q&A just for you every week, so we can talk about things like this, things that matter to you. All right, so thank you guys. Thank you again to all my beautiful, beautiful friends from the East Coast to the West Coast. We appreciate you being on here. And you know what? Y'all ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying?
CC, CEO, want to change your life? Come see me, yo. I'm going to teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller. house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all cycle on your black-owned firm, but we